Hey guys, this is Greg here, Underground Graphics. Today we're going to do a quick demo and install for you for the Bronco Sasquatch beadlock trim rings. We've had some people ask us if the T-Rex rings we've done would fit the Bronco. Of course they do not. They are completely different. And our Sasquatch did not come with the wheels. We swatched those out at the dealer with our aftermarket ones, and so we never had a chance to do this. So we called our friends at Bronco Outfitters, and they were kind enough to give us their spare to make a template with. We've done so, and additionally we are going to do the spoke decals. So this is going to be just an example of one. I'm that guy from that old culture of the tuna world where I like to do just one spoke. Of course we will sell these as a set of 6 per wheel, so you're going to get 30 of those. But again, we do this, we understand, yes, it's not paint, but it's also going to be a fraction of the cost of paint. So if it's something that you're thinking of doing or want to do, try this first. I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this, and if you like it, great. They'll stay for a very long time. Of course, if you do go to the rocks and you do scratch these up, you can take them off, you can put new ones on, or if you really want to do it, take them off and have them painted. Last we checked, we were getting costs of $450 to $500 to get this set of 5 trim rings done. I believe this set, I have to check, but I think it's like $125, $150 for the set of 5. We may include a 6th in there just so you have an extra to put on. Anyway, this vinyl, just like everything else we do for our vehicles, this is an Avery Supreme wrap. Same thing as your 3M 2080 wrap film, but just a different brand. This is the Carmine red we typically do for the Jeep Rubicons, but this is our red that we like so much. And again, we're doing this just to show you the contrast. I mean, obviously you can do this any color you want. We'll have a match to the Velocity Blue, or obviously we'll have white, and so on down the road. So anyway, first thing you're going to want to do if you do this is, I think this is a Torx 45, and you're going to have, there is some factory thread lock on there. It does come off. We just used, again, a socket with the Torx 45, worked very well. I got these started, then I went to the drill and got those all out of there. Make sure when you put these back on that you come in one, alternate to the other here, and kind of go in a back and forth pattern. Get them nice and snug, go back and give it just a little bit. I'm not sure what the torque rating is on that, so be sure to check with Ford or look in that book and see if that's in there. But I know on our Jeep we go to 20 foot-pounds per bolt. Anyway, once that's off, it's probably going to be dirty. We did get this cleaned up for our test fitments, but I go back to that alcohol water solution. I like that 10% alcohol, 90% water. You can spray that ring if you want. I like to go right on that towel. Again, this is already clean, but you want to make very sure that this is totally clean. Every bit of everything on there. You don't want any dirt underneath there. We are going to tuck right to that inside ledge. It is going to cover these ridges. We do have a splice in here that you can't see, so it is going to fold into that little crease, that little bevel. And as far as on the edge of this thing, we have not had great luck, at least for an easy do-it-yourself job, to wrap all the way on the edge. So it is going to come right up to that bevel there. If you have the silver trim ring, you are going to get, looks like about a 1/4 inch of silver. That is going to be on the inside of that, so it is kind of hard to see. Same thing with the holes for those bolts. We are not going to go inside there, because once you tighten those bolts down, you're just going to twist the vinyl and it's going to look horrible. So you are going to have a little bit of, in this case, black showing. You won't really see it, but in that silver, you are going to have just a little bit. Again, this isn't intended to be a replacement for paint, but just something that's an economical version. And again, I think you'll be very happy with this. Typically, like I said, on that T-Rex, it turned out great. And we're excited to get some color on Arnie's Bronco once we get that matched. So we got that wiped down. Do notice that there is going to be a spot here for that valve, your air. So we do have that spot here as well. I'll have a marker. I'd show that to you. Do not cut the inside of this out. This is going to be masked in clear. It will be cut out in that circle. I did go back and cut out 1, 2 holes. I'm going to try to make sure we tell the guys to get those holes cut. We just want 2 of those cut, so that's going to be our lineup. And again, make sure that you've got this lined up with that, where that stem goes, that valve stem. Once you get that lined up, we can come back and we can get this hole lined up. Come back and get this hole lined up. And this is where it gets tricky. You do not want that to shift. And actually, I have not done this yet, so I am going to get some tape. All right, so we're back with tape. Make sure you have everything you need to do this, which is going to be some masking tape, a pair of scissors, squeegee. I go over this in every video. We do have these on order. I think they're on the site. If they're not, they will be at very shortly, very soon. These are just the foam wraps for the squeegees that we do provide. We're also going to have some upgraded or some better squeegees that come or that'll be available to you. You will get one, a small plastic one that comes with that we give out with every order. But again, if you want to have a soft squeegee, it's nice to have. This is that piece you're going to use. So squeegee, blade, alcohol to clean. If you want to go with some detail spray when you're done, you can come back over that to get everything nice and cleaned up. But going back to that, we got this piece lined up here. Line up, and then we're going to tape this down. So you do not want this to shift. And I'm really just going to hope that this we're going to do a little hinge on this side here on the top. And again, our best, see that's already shifted just a little bit, so you do want to make sure this is going to be the hardest part. But once that's on there, you're going to have a little bit of freedom to do this. And of course, this is a dry install. All that wrap film we use requires no water. And again, from here we can kind of go back and make sure we're centered on there. And we just caught that. I'm going to squeegee there, squeegee here. And now we can take that tape off. But this is why you want to leave that center in there. We're going to have to use that to make sure this doesn't flop around. And this is something you want to do with those rings off. On that T-Rex, we tried it with it on, and it's just extremely difficult. These are not hard to take off. And just let that lay down. And if we need to pop that up, you can. And there we go. So now we can come around. Again, because of this air release vinyl, you can really go any direction with that. If you want to use that hard side, you can. As long as that mask is on there, you're good to go. And now we can cut this piece out. And we really want to, whenever you're taking mask off the vinyl, and this clear is extremely tacky, remember you want to go with the vinyl, so basically 180 degrees. Don't pull up on this, just kind of roll this against itself. Another tip, make sure your hands are clean. Any debris or any oils, dirt, anything that's in your fingers will get under this adhesive, because you will be touching this a little. I mean, not a huge thing, but we should have set a time on this. Curious to know what this will take for this set of 5. And like I said, there's going to be that seam that breaks right in there, and there it is. So you can take your edge of that squeegee and just run all the way around that, seam, and that's where we know that's gonna have a good adhesion, because we put that split in there for you. If you have the silver trim ring, that silver beadlock wheel, you're gonna get a little bit of silver in there. It is really just a hairline, not a big deal. You're gonna see more around here, but again, this is not meant to be a paint replacement, just an option. Cheaper option if you don't want to go out and get those painted. If you're unsure, this is a great alternative. On the side pieces here, we're going to start nice and slow, working our way around that, because you want that to be even all the way down, and you can start working working down. If you want a little bit of heat, to make it a little bit easier, soften that vinyl up. We are going to use that heat gun on that inside edge for sure. As you can see, as this gets soft, it gets even easier to lay down. We can kind of work our way down. And I think there, if you can see there, Zach, where how much is left showing. You do want that to be even, and I've got wrap gloves too that we could be using, but I know you won't, so I'm trying to do this and even these little wrinkles there, again with that heat, they come right out if you wanted to do that. But this is, since we're going out, we're not putting any stress on that. These will be easy to, oops, there we go, look at that. I'm just using the side of my hand to get bigger surface area on that. And again, if this was wet, this would be a nightmare to do if this was wet. So you really got to appreciate these higher end vinyls. And we'll go back with heat, make sure that's all adhered very well. And now we're on the inside piece. So let's make myself a little bit of room. And let's go back to this one. If you want to pick this up, you can. Now we have that edge down. But we're going to start, I'm going to go ahead and heat this up. Just get this nice and warm. And kind of do the same thing. Now there was a trick on this piece, because these have some hard edges. That we really want to get, want to push on the inside, 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 and we'll do this all the way around. But what we want to try to avoid is a wrinkle here on the edge. And again, Rory was kind enough to do this template for us. But I have not installed this. I'm pretty sure. Now that we got all those down, it was really pushing at, hard on that corner. We don't want that to wrinkle, these top edges here and here. So we want to push in on those and push those down. Just like that. So an outside edge, and use your thumb for that. Out, out, out. And you'll have a little bit of ledge, and that's what can start to roll under that bottom side. And make sure we don't have any of those wrinkles or any. And if you do get a wrinkle, that was a small one right there, you can pull that back up. As long as this is clean, you can pull that back up. A little bit of heat. And let's do that again. Let me get that out. So as you can see, a little bit of time on that, but that result, it's really a nice option. I'm gonna have to go back and do these. So We'll take a break while I go back and do all 25 of these or whatever there is on here. And when we're done with this, we'll come back, we'll show you that finished product, and then we'll show you how to do that wheel spoke if you want to opt for that package as well. And yeah, just go from there. All right, and there you go. So that was another probably 2-3 minutes and a bit of a sore thumb, making sure I'm getting over those edges. You do want to be pretty rough with that. But again, if you do get that wrinkle in there, that back edge, you can get back up. You can see how much tuck we have. This is why it is so important to make sure this is clean. Use that alcohol mix to make sure there's no dirt, no grease, nothing on the inside of that lip, because we do want to get this to tuck on the inside. You're going to have a little bit of overlap in here, but again, that's just that one area by the valve stem. If you want to take some time, you can get some of that out, and it'll be good. I was really kind of rushing through that. But again, that is fantastic. That's going to be a great beauty ring for that. So let's go ahead and let's move over here. And you can see how this comes up on here. Remember, when these go back on, we want that valve stem to line up. I'm looking for it now. There it is. And that's that spot right there. So again, that little bit of black or silver, if you have the non-Wild Track or non-first edition, it really isn't bad. It's just a little bit. And again, as we go back to tighten these, we talked about alternating. So you're going to come here, tighten here, and just keep going in that star pattern until they're all down. Hand tight, go back, and I would probably torque to probably 15 to 20 foot-pounds of torque if you want to do a torque wrench on that. But again, that's a nice way to add some flash to that. If you want to do the spoke, that's another piece that we just did. These are not going to come with mask. It's easy enough that we're just going to lay this in here. In this case, the way I like to do these, since we have an edge up under here, if you want to take that ring off, you can. You don't have to do that. We want to get those two edges showing. Just like this. And again, you've got a little bit of room to play with. As long as it's clean and it's dry, if you need to move this around to get that perfect fitment on there, you can. And I'm upside down on this. I'm not sure if I got all the way tucked back in there or not, but you can see where we're going with that. If you need to adjust it, again, you can come in a little bit tighter if you want. There's not a whole lot of room to play with, but you do have some adjustment on that. And again, once this is all down and once you're happy with it, whether it's one spoke or the whole set, you want to go back with that heat gun and just warm that up, get that hot. These wheels, they're going to get hot outside, but you really just want to make sure that we got that adhesion that you want. And if we do this and just get this nice and warm, if there's any spots that we didn't get, you're going to see it come up, and then we can pull that heat gun away, let that cool for a second, and go back and push down and reapply that pressure. So there it is. Hope you all like that. I think it's going to be a great option to add a little bit of accent color to your Bronco. If you're keeping those Sasquatch wheels, we can do aftermarket wheels as well, but that's going to be a little bit harder. Guys, have any questions, give me a call. Again, we're going to get this up on the site very soon. By the time this video is up, they will be on the site. But again, any custom colors, any questions, feel free to give us a call. Thanks a lot.